SimpleIndex has the unique ability to separate documents into separate types based on keywords, which is called document classification. Document classification can be used to automatically separate documents into different types using OCR. This can be helpful for automatically naming documents based on type, separating documents for recognition of specific formats, reading names, or sending documents to different departments automatically. With a brief setup process, any document can be configured to get classified based on keywords that are unique to that document. Once the keyword is found on the page, a uniform document type is returned and the document is split out. One of the ways that document classification can be used in SimpleIndex is to automatically extract the vendor name from an invoice. In many cases, invoices have the vendor name in a strange font or in a logo that isn't readable with OCR. With SimpleIndex document classification, you can match the vendor name based on other values that are unique to the vendor. This could be phone number, address, email, website, or any other information that is unique to that vendor's invoice. In this job, we have a variety of different formatted invoices that automatically read the vendor name based on key values that it finds on the page. So for instance, tech type interface in this sample was matched against either tech type interfaces or the phone number. We can also, for instance, on Paperscan LLC, read other information that is on the page, such as the phone number, or the web address, or the email address. We can also read other unique information to the vendor, like the physical address. So once it reads any of those information for the particular vendor, then it returns that specific vendor's name, and then further processing can be done on the document to read the invoice number, order date, or total amount. SimpleIndex can also use document classification in our loan stacker system to automatically read the document types from loan and mortgage files. With the large loan stacker database of document types, over 600 different document types, Loan Stacker can read the document types from any loan document. In the Loan Stacker system, each document has a pre-configured list of keywords, so when one of these keywords is found, the document type is used to name the document. So when we run the Loan Stacker process, it pulls in the files, OCRs the pages, and then matches against the list of keywords to find the different document types on the page automatically. As it goes through the documents, it's converting the page to text and then matching against the list of keywords to find each document type. This can be a list of any number of document types that you want, and can also do multiple values as well as negative values. So how it uses this capability is also by matching against the database. And in this case, we use the stack orders database, which you can find down here. And when we edit the list of keywords, we see that the keyword is listed here, and this is the document type that will be returned with the software. And then we have a list of different keywords that will match for that document type. So for instance, final documents and checklists, if that's found on the page, it'll match, or underwriting worksheet, or edit points and fees. We can also do negative keyword matches, where we say, for instance, we use this caret key to say, when you see loan modification, then it is not a worksheets and checklists. So that way you can negatively match against values that shouldn't be matched. We can also do multiple word matches by saying if it has the word addendum and the word rider and the words document list, all three of those have to be on the page before it matches that document type. So that way you can have a variety of different document types with each one having a variety of different keywords for all the different formats of that specific document type, and then return just the document type value that is matched for the keyword that's found. The SimpleIndex document classification can also be used to easily sort all the documents that come into a mailroom. The document classification can split up the different types of documents into separate groups. Then specific job configurations can be run on each of the different types of documents automatically to name them with specific information that applies to that type of document, but not others of different types that have their own naming requirements. With the classify command, these can be run in tandem So by starting off the process with the document type separation job, the remaining job specific for naming each document type can be run one after the other automatically. So in this example, we can run the job and pull in documents of different types and automatically determine which document type is which. And it uses keywords on the page to automatically determine which document type it is. So for instance, this particular job reads as an invoice because invoice is on the page. And this is done based on the document type field. And then we have a list of keywords that are loaded in a text file. So if it sees the word invoice, it matches against an invoice. If it sees tax, then it matches against a tax. And if it sees contract or reseller agreement, then it matches a contract. So this particular document matches invoice. And this document type matches invoice. But on this particular document, tax is red. And this one is also a tax document, so tax is red. And then we get to a contract, and then tax is not red any longer, and contract is red. So when we save this file, which is the last file of the document type separation, it automatically runs the next process and then pulls up the document for this specific type of file, so I can key in the information for the contract. So this is a standard reseller contract. So I'll type standard reseller on the page because the contracts aren't uniform enough to read the contract type automatically. And then when I'm done with that one, it automatically pulls up the invoices and then starts reading the invoice information. And then when the invoices are done, it runs the tax processing job so it can read the tax year and the form type, and that the person's name can be filled in. Then once the operation is finished, it goes back to the original document classification job that separates the documents so you can run a new process. The setting that automatically runs the additional processes after the document separation has been done is in the advanced settings under pre-process and post-process, and is under post-process with the command %classify%. What this does is automatically runs jobs in the output folder based on the folder name that have the exact same name for the job configuration. So since these were separated based on contract, invoice, and tax, it automatically runs the contract, invoice, and tax jobs immediately after the document types have been split up into separate sections. The same capabilities that are used in the mailroom to separate documents for individual naming can be used for the same documents that have completely different formats. This is good for scanning bill of ladings, which all need the same naming requirements but come in many different templates with the same information on different spots on the page. The document classification will split the documents into different formats and then automatically run different job configurations designed to extract the required fields for each specific format. It will then save the documents back into one location with the same naming convention. In this particular job, the document classification is run on the bill of ladings, and based on the shipper name from the ship from, the documents are separated into different formats. So this particular bill of lading format is from ScanStore. So ScanStore is read from the page. And then once a new format is read from a different shipper, that shipper's name is read, and the document types are split up into separate formats based on the shipper name. Once the document types are separated, the document classify command is run, and then the different job configurations for each format are run. So in this particular one, the fields are in these spots, and since they've been split up based on meta enterprises, we can look in those specific zones to find the key information. Then when we're done naming these documents, then the ScanStore format is run, and the fields are read from the spots on the ScanStore invoice. Then once this job is done, the SimpleIndex job is run for the SimpleIndex shipper that looks on these spots on the page for this particular format. So that way you can run the same document type with different formats, all in the same process. And when you're done, the output is set all to the same folder, and all the documents are combined into one uniform naming convention. So you can see the power of SimpleIndex to separate document types into separate sections based on keywords that it finds on the page, and then do different sorts of processing based on what you need for that specific type of document.